Good morning, everybody. It's Lindsey Huddleston back in the building with SPS, another SPS Monday Motivation. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend. You're going to have a great week. I'm telling you this already. Got to be ready to do it. Got to accept it. Got to believe it. Feel good this morning. Feel good every morning, but proactively good today. What are we going to talk about today on this Monday Motivation? We're going to talk about obstacles versus limits. Obstacles versus limits. And I've been racking my brain of where I saw this at. I was somewhere and I was walking and I had to do a double take. I saw this statement and I walked past it. And I remember walking past it and walking back to it and looking at it. And the statement was, let me get this right. A lot of kids growing up today aren't told that you can be whatever you want to be. There may be obstacles, but there are no limits. And who said that? That was Mark Dean, an inventor, African-American inventor, by the way, who's done some great things with IBM, great things in the computer world. One of those people that we don't know about, at least I didn't, we should know about. And another great thing about him, when you talk about his background, Mark Dean developed the ISA bus, and he led a design team for making a 1 gigahertz computer processor chip. We talk about gigahertz in our computers. I think the big thing about the new iPhone that I got was that it had a gigahertz of memory storage in it, and he was responsible for that some time ago. He also holds 3 of 9 patents. Again, 3 of 9 patents for being the co-creator of the IBM personal computer released in 1981. In 1985, Dean was named the first ever African-American IBM fellow. This man has done great things. He is a pioneer in computer science. And that statement about we all have obstacles but no limits, I can relate to that. As you guys know, SPS is always in the building for the best sporting events throughout the state of Michigan, including just recently at Operation Friendships game at Callahan Hall. Got to see nephew Kareem Rozier and the Orchard Lake St. Mary's Eaglets have success over my guy, George Ward, and Chauncey Willis and the King Crusaders. Somewhat of a controversial game. Game ended up being 50-49. And shout out to George Ward. George Ward sent this to me and several other people. A picture saying, yes, it was a foul at the end that young Aldrin Waldron Jr. Fouled Javon Hanna. But I say this because Javon Hanna went to the free throw line being down 2, 1 to tie, 1 to win. 1 to tie, 1 to win. That young man went to the free throw line, an obstacle for many of us in the physical world and in the mental world. All those people in the gym. No time left on the clock. It's the things we talk about in the backyard growing up as ball players. Javon Hanna went to the free throw line and hit 2 free throws to win the game. Proud of that young man. Had a chance to watch him in his career grow. And that's a great thing. But what I'm talking about is there are going to always be obstacles, folks. I think if we accept that mindset, it's not a defeatist mindset, it's a reality. There are going to always be obstacles. But to Mark Dean's point, if you don't have limits, you can get past that. Again, focus on the goal, not the obstacles. The obstacles are going to be there. There's going to always be something there to hinder you from moving forward. But the important part is that you have a brain that says, I have no limits. Shout out to Master P and the No Limit Soldiers. We probably weren't ready to accept his brash way of taking on the industry, but now you see the importance of having no limits. I can give you 20 things right now that can be considered an obstacle in my life or yours. But again, I can give you 50 things that can be a way of thinking and have no limits and accomplishing those and getting by that. That's how we have to think, folks. The obstacle is going to be there. And so many times the obstacle becomes this mental weight for us. The obstacle becomes this visual deterrence for us that when we see it, we say, oh, there's an obstacle. I can't do anything with that. But if you have the attitude that Mark Dean shared several years ago, to have no limits, then you will be able to manage and get through that. Have no limits. Limits are only what we put on ourselves. We can tell ourselves time and time again what we can't do, but you need to spend time telling yourself what you can do, what you can focus on. That's why it's so important the company you keep. I know, folks, I talk about this all the time, but you need to be around people cheering you, Like the young man King that we saw in the viral video when his friend, King, was answering questions. This man was like, "That's my boy." Those are the kind of people you need in your corner. I got people like that I appreciate, that I call on a regular basis. And you know what? You don't have to have a lot of them, because you go to work out with those you work out with. So what I want to say to you guys on this Monday motivation is, think like the pioneer in tech, the pioneer that many of us may not even know about, Mark Dean. And like I said in this statement earlier, and he said this several, almost a decade ago, when he said, a lot of us growing up today aren't told you can be whatever you want to be. There may be obstacles, but there are no limits. Yeah, the obstacles are there, folks. I'm not going to sit here and try to paint a picture of you and say that we live a life free of obstacles. There's obstacles everywhere we go when we go out the door, but it's having a mindset of no limit, that you can achieve more. And sometimes it takes you to work at that. Sometimes it takes us to work to get out of our funky place. The mind is an amazing thing. It builds up these grooves, these mental highways. And if you keep doing something over and over and over again, like I said before, it's like that, that pathway that you tread and it wears down. If you keep thinking negatively or keep putting limitations on yourself, that's going to be harder to get out of that. But if you say to yourself, "Hey man, I can do whatever. I can make whatever happen." Perfect example. Now, this may be a controversial statement, but I stand behind it. Look at Kanye West. There's a documentary on Netflix, a 3-part documentary, and people can say so many things about him. He's arrogant, he's this, but he just released his new album, Down to 2, on a stem player. And this is the stem player many of you guys may have seen with the TikTok videos that allows you to remove the audio and only allow the vocals. And because of that, he's made like $2.2 million just in selling that $200 piece to a small segment of the population. Kind of reminds me of Nipsey Hussle when he sold his album, his mixtape, for $100. But he sold it to a small segment of the population and made like 100 grand. So my point being is, whether you're into Nipsey, into Kanye, whatever it may be, don't put limitations on yourself. In most cases, whatever you're trying to do, nobody else is doing it. Whatever you have going on, if you really want to find success, it's something that no one else is doing quite the way you're doing it. They once said, if you want to find success, do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. In other words, don't put limits on yourself. I hope this can be an encouragement to someone today. I hope this can be an encouragement for someone who may be struggling with, hey, these obstacles are in front of me. Oh, this, oh, that. Yeah, we can spend the whole day talking about obstacles. We can spend the whole day talking about what is a challenge, but I say spend some time talking about how you can get past that. Put that effort on, having no limits for how you think. And if you're in a space where you're around toxic people and you're around people with toxic conversation and they want to say things like, well, you this and that, and you're a little this, and oh yeah, I heard, are you trying to do this, or what? All those little things, those do eat away at your confidence, but you have to prepare yourself for that. Nobody said this journey was going to be obstacle free. The obstacles are there. Go back to the visual. Focus on the goal, not the obstacles. Yeah, I know we want to have a clear path. Many of us want to have a clear path to success. We want to have a clear path to getting what we want. Oh, if I can just lay back and it be there. No, it does not happen like that. Since the beginning of time, there have been challenges that people have had to overcome. And when we're long gone from this place, it's going to continue to be challenges. But along with the challenges, you can have a mindset that no matter what challenge comes before me, I am going to have a limitless view. Remember that movie Limitless with Robert De Niro and this guy Brad, I forget Brad's last name, where he took this pill and his brain was able to expand and kind of do what people say that we're capable of doing anyway. But it's all about having a limitless attitude and not worrying about what other people say. We give too much stock to other people. We give too much credit to people who aren't even doing what you're doing. Because here's the thing, if somebody's doing what you're doing, they don't have time to criticize. They're going to support you. Or if not, they have nothing to say. Somebody who can sit around all day and wait for your next move to have something negative to say, it's not worth even having those people get the credit to bring you down. I don't want to keep going on. I just want to be encouraging that you can get this message and go on and have a great day today on this Monday. I want you to have a great week. I'm going to be down at East English Village supporting River Rouge and Detroit Western as we get these playoffs underway. I'm looking forward to supporting our young people going forward. Again, Lindsay Hudson with SPS. Before I get out here, I want to give a shout out to Broderick B9, Henry Ford Soldier. I thought I told you. I appreciate you too, B. Appreciate you being part of my coaching experience at Henry Ford High School. You're going on to be a great coach, great dad, great man. I'm so proud of you. So with that, we'll get up out of here and see you guys next time. Peace.